Hello.
Hi, I thought it was hard getting in initially.
That's just because I didn't come on earlier.
Okay, well, that was my guess. I had faith.
I'm glad you did.
So, hi, John. Hi,
I think
Joanne.
John is connecting to audio.
Okay.
And here comes Alder LaFave.
Alder Stevens might have a conflict with the traffic and pedestrian meeting,
Oh, okay.
but he said if it's over quickly, he'll come over.
All right.
Hey, Lieutenant.
Hello.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Celestine, it looks like we are recording, so I can hit the time now.
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay. All right. All right, Alder, we
All right.
can start.
All right, good evening. Welcome to Protection and Policy for November 16th, 2020. We'll do the roll call. Alder Stoyer, I'm here. Alder Vanderleest. I think he's here. He's muted.
I'm here, Mark.
Okay, sounds
Thank
good.
you.
And then Alder LaFave
Here.
is here. All right, and then I believe Alder Stevens. I'm not sure if he's here. If he isn't, he's at another meeting right now. Alder Stevens, are you here? Okay.
I know there's two other meetings going on at the same time.
Right. Yes, I know.
Mhm.
Good planning, I guess.
We do have quorum though, so we can.
We have quorum, so we'll be fine. All right, approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Alder Vanderleest, seconded by Alder LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Before I say aye, well, it doesn't really matter. I was wondering if any of the other alders were on. Somebody wanted to possibly move up one of the agenda items. Alder Scannell, could you chime in a little bit there?
Yes, thank you. If you could move my item up, I'd appreciate it. It doesn't look like Alder Weary's here, so if you could just bump me.
Alder Weary will be here.
Oh, he will? Okay, then I could follow.
Yeah, he will be here. So is it pressing that, I mean, as far as your item, is there any idea how long your item might take or not?
I don't think it'll take too long. You're just getting a report. From
Just an update?
Mahoney.
Well, we already voted. Can we, Alder Attorney Bunger?
Yes, we can do a motion to amend the agenda.
All right, Alder Scannell, would it be all right to move that up to before Alder Weary's?
Sure, thank you.
All right, number 4, I'd like to move up to number 2.
Motion to
I'll
approve.
make a motion. I'll make a motion to move number 4 to let's see.
After number 1.
Before number 2.
All right,
make
that
it
sounds good. LaFave, and then seconded by Vanderleest. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, all opposed? Okay, that passes.
And then we need to do a motion to approve as amended.
Okay,
I'll make
Do
a
we have a
motion
motion to approve as amended?
all right. You guys are both on today.
I don't care if John
You
wants
guys are
to go
fighting.
ahead.
I love it. Alder Vanderleest, and I'll give it a second by Alder LaFave this time. So, and
Yep.
all in favor, please say aye.
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 That passes unanimously. So when you're ready.
Yep, 1 second. And on to the minutes.
All right, approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion for that?
Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
I'll give it to LaFave this time and seconded by Vanderleest. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, that passes unanimously.
All right, and on to regular business, item number 1.
All right, number 1, consideration with possible action on a request by Kokoro LLC at 875 Lombardi Avenue to extend the issuance of their liquor license to February 2021. Staff.
Yes, this license was granted in October 6, 2020. The location had a fire recently, which is delaying the opening, which is why they are requesting an extension to have the license issued in February 2021.
So you don't
Staff has
have
no
no
objections.
objections? Okay. Police?
The police have no objections either.
Okay, thank you much. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by LaFave. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alder Vanderleest. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, that passes unanimously.
All right, we are now on to item number 4, which is being taken up.
Okay.
as
I'm
item
going to take it up now because I saw Randy waving his hands. I can't do it as fast as he can. But anyway, number 4, consideration with possible action on a request by Alder Randy Scannell to have a police report on the compliance and policing of the mask mandate. Alder Scannell, did you want to start this or do you want to go right to the police?
We go right to the police. I'll just briefly say,
All right.
I brought this up because I've been hearing an awful lot, I've gotten complaints, plus I've seen on Facebook, there are some people who seem to be brazenly not wearing the mask and even promoting to the point where they're promoting people to not wear the mask. And I was just wondering how that's affecting our policing and what the police are, how they're handling that. So, Officer Mahoney,
Smiling because I see Alder weary.
I'm safe.
Anyway, go ahead, Lieutenant Mahoney.
Oh, okay, thank you. Pretty much since the mask mandate was enacted, the policy or the procedure that happens is someone calls their dispatch center, they keep a running log and then keep track of where it was at. All the police jurisdictions in Brown County are working with the health department where if there is a violation, it's turned over to the health department. In the city of Green Bay, we've had 43 calls since this mandate went into effect. Some of them were multiple calls. Some of them were not actually violations of the mask mandate. In fact, one of them was someone called to complain the Green Bay Packers were not wearing masks on the sidelines or social distancing. Other ones were people outside not wearing masks. What happens is when the call comes in, the health department is notified. The health department has investigated and either sent letters or stopped by and talked to the management staff at the places where complaints were done. And that seems to have solved the issue. It's not something that's on a daily basis where we're being called, that we're dealing with it. When we do talk to management staff at various places in the city of Green Bay or when the health department has, they've been very accommodating to remind their employees and their customers to please wear their masks. So our procedure here at the police department is if a place calls in or someone calls in saying there's a violation, if I'm the manager at whatever business, if I ask the customer to please put their mask on, if they say no, they don't want to, and if I ask the customer to leave my establishment or leave the business and they still refuse, then the police will be notified and it will be more of a trespassing issue instead of a violation of the mask ordinance. We're still in the education phase. I do realize people aren't wearing them or it's wearing thin on some people. But with the climate nationally, with people's opinion towards the police department, we still want to educate. There has been no citations issued in the city of Green Bay for a violation of the mandate. And there's also been no one that's been cited for trespassing for refusing to wear a mask and or leave the store when asked.
well, that's good.
Okay, go ahead, Alder.
Has there been any complaints about businesses not masking up?
No, there were a couple complaints where someone said an employee's not wearing a mask. The health department called or stopped by the store. The employee was wearing a mask. I'm sure we've all seen when we've been out and about personally, some people are wearing their mask just down underneath their nose, or they're wearing it not how other people deem that they want to wear it. Or should wear it. So some of the calls are on that. So the health department has been educating them, making sure that they are wearing masks and wearing them properly.
And do you know, does the health department have the authority to issue citations, or would that fall back on would they contact you to say, we need help?
I honestly don't know. In violation of the mask mandate, I
Mhm.
believe it would be us. I don't know with the way the mandate was, if it's with the countywide one, if it would be a violation of the county mask mandate where they would issue or could issue that citation.
Okay. Well,
I thought
thank
it
you.
was through the health department, wasn't it? I thought, anyway, that was my impression, through the health department, but
If it's a county mass, excuse me, Chairman, if it's a county mass thing, I think that's something we should, law should look into. Who is actually responsible of enforcing it? I guess,
Joanne,
because if it's a county and we're city and, yeah.
could that be something, Attorney Bungert, that we could have report out at council?
As far
As far
as
as-
enforcing what?
Well, as far as
Enforcing
where
which?
the hierarchy is, as far as, there's talk about the county health department, there's talk about the county itself and the police department. There's 24 separate jurisdictions in Brown County. So-
Right. I'm as to the state mask mandate, I'm not sure what enforcement mechanisms are in place.
No, the county has one in yet, right?
The county does not have one. Sorry, this is Attorney
Doesn't.
Mathau. The county
Right.
does not have one.
Okay.
The city has one.
Oh, that's right,
And
because
the
the state
state has
put it
one.
in, that's right. Yeah,
Correct.
that's right.
So it falls on the local governments. Okay,
With respect to ours, yes.
okay. Alder Scannell, do you have anything else, or what actions are you looking for here?
Well, I wasn't sure what actions we could even pursue. I just put that in there in case there were any. I just wanted to get a feel from the police end, how they felt.
Okay.
If there's any problems they're running into that maybe we need to step in as a city government to help them in any way, or, because obviously COVID's on the rise and it's not good. We just heard,
Would you be
prior to the
satisfied
meeting,
if,
how
would you be
devastating.
satisfied if we reported out each meeting or every other meeting?
I think I would leave that up to the police if they feel they need to come to us.
If there's anything that's untoward or different, if there's a spike and that kind of stuff, then maybe Lieutenant Mahoney could tell us that.
Yeah, yes.
Or if it seems like, I'm sorry, or if it seems like there's a continuation of the same place.
There's ways of dealing with that. So Lieutenant?
Yes, if there's a place that's a repeat offender, obviously, we would assist the health department looking at it more. I do have access to the spreadsheet when people call the dispatch center. So yes, I could continually monitor it. And like I said, a couple of the places on here were repeat, I don't want to say offenders. It almost seems like someone did not like the business because the follow-up that was done by the health department did not coincide with what the actual complaint was. So I don't know if someone had an issue with a certain business, but yes, we would definitely keep an eye on businesses that are receiving multiple calls. And at that point, if it comes down to it, then yes, we can cite for the violation of the mask mandate.
Okay.
And I'm happy with even in placing on file is fine too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Receive and place
and I
on
think
file.
it's-
Yep, go ahead.
I was
Alder
just gonna
LaFave. Yes,
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to quick say that it sounds like they're doing a good job where the health department goes in, or the police, and they're finding out like that one he just mentioned. It was somebody who didn't like the business, and we don't want just to go in and say, oh, you got to do this. I'm glad that they're looking into each individual issue.
Well, and the marketplace has kind of driven a lot of that too. So if you don't want to shop there or go there, then don't, so.
Then don't. Right.
All right, well, I would entertain a motion then.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Okay, by Alder Vanderleest, do we have a second? Seconded by
Second.
Alder LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed. Thank you, Alder Scannell. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
All right, next. Are we
Item
ready?
number, we are on item number 2.
Two, all right. Consideration with
Which is
possible
great.
action on a request by Alder Chris Worry to review with possible action ordinance 8-16 practice of massage or bodywork therapy requiring state license. and any other related ordinance. The revised ordinance is needed to combat actual and potential escort service and prostitution masquerading as massage business. Alder Weary, did you want to start with this?
Thanks. My apologies. It's actually ordinance 8.18. I don't know if I had.
What is it again?
8.18.
Okay, because I was trying to look it up and it wasn't.
I don't know if that's my error, Scrivener's error, or if it got transferred wrong, but it's
It had to be
8.1.
Scrivener's, so it can't be, you couldn't have done it.
I don't make
All right, go ahead.
some guy named Scrivener.
It's actually section 8.16, but it was passed by ordinance 818.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
Confusion.
We're all right.
Yes, everybody's right.
We're all right. All right.
It's about time.
I was going to blame Bucky Scrivener. Hunter. Oh, wait, no, it's Scrivener. Never mind. Okay.
Wow. That's a stretch. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I know Alder Stoyer, you had worked on this and brought this forward, I think, back in January,
Right.
maybe, right?
I've been working on this for some time, with, in fact, Lieutenant, if you could, I think it was Lieutenant Pakula. Was it Pakula?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working with him, and also with Leah Weicker.
Yeah, it was Detective Pakla. He's our
Yes,
detective that's in charge of, I guess, human trafficking and the sex trafficking.
sure.
So, yep, he
So
would be
we-
working with.
Right. So we've been on that, Alder Weary, we've been on that for a while, but I appreciate you bringing this back up because it kind of goes in streaks. We kind of seem to take care of things and then it kind of slips away again. And I don't know, go
It
ahead.
seems to be growing recently in the last few months, the number of businesses, and I've been getting some unusual stories from neighboring businesses of what's going on there.
Sure.
Turned it over to the police department. I did go into one of the establishments to try and talk to the owner or the manager, and nobody spoke English and they didn't know who I was. And I couldn't do anything. So that didn't go very far.
Well,
I would be interested. I think there are some other people here who wanted to speak to it.
okay. All right.
I'll make a motion to open the floor.
Okay, motion by
Second.
LaFave, seconded by Vanderleest. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Lieutenant, was there something you were going to say? No, we can wait. All right. Okay, I thought you were going to say something. All right, the floor is now open for interested parties. Please unmute yourself, state your name and address for the record, and then start.
Hi, I'll start. Leah Weicker. I'm the Business Improvement District of Military Avenue at 425 South Military.
Right. Okay, thank you, Leah. Go ahead.
So we have several spas in our district, and there are legitimate spas and there are ones that do not appear to be legitimate to me. Back when I first started this job in 2015, I entered one, and again, I had kind of the same experience that Alderman Weary just experienced, where they just shook their head at me and didn't speak. I did consult with the police department, and in spring of this year, most of them were shut down due to lack of proper licensing. And then within a month, they were all open back up. And I was told that they all had a legitimate license now. But on research that I have done, it takes 600 hours to get a legitimate license. And every 2 years, they have to go for continuing education credits for massage therapy or body works. The legitimate businesses in my district are concerned because they are getting calls from people thinking that they are one of the other spas that's not legitimate. And so they're feeling uncomfortable with that. What tipped me off to the prostitution and probably money laundering, human trafficking, whatever it may be, was the fact that one of the businesses has a Chicago phone number on their sign, on the main sign of this. When I looked into, if you Google their name, it comes up looking like a legitimate business. If you Google that phone number, it's all prostitution and escort servicing. So it's pretty blatant what they're doing. Customers come in the back doors quite often. Some of the neighboring businesses say that their appearance of the workers are inappropriate for massage. The windows are all darkened and their hours of operation aren't always adhered to. They're open very late hours. If you drive by, the open sign is on sometimes 10 or 11 at night. All those are indications that something should be looked into, and I would appreciate the help to address that.
Leah, thanks for your testimony. I know I've talked with you numerous times on this issue. And in your estimation, how many legitimate spas are there in the district? And how many do you feel are not? Do you have a number possibly in mind?
Yes, there's a brand new one just opened in our district, so that makes 4 not legitimate, and 3 legitimate.
Okay. Well, and I think one of the things that's unusual, and all the worry can attest to it too, like, after 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, a lot of times most of the businesses like fairly dark, you got street lights, but then you see a couple of businesses that have lights on, or it's just unusual activity. So, and I'll have to talk with Lieutenant as well. I know that the police have looked into this, but it seems to be kind of a recurring issue. And I don't know if they're just wise to us or we just don't hit them at the right time. But I think it is a concern, not only in military, but I'm sure there's other areas in Green Bay that we're dealing with this as well. So I think the idea to really hammer on this ordinance would be a good idea. The fact, like Leah said, is that, it takes 600 hours to get a license, or to be really, well positioned to do that job. And, I thought for a while we would have it so that our inspectors could go in there, and if they're not legitimately licensed in that, they could, put the hammer down on some of that. So we just need some more tools in the toolbox here to deal with it. And I think having an ordinance that would really strengthen that and allow the police and inspection to really look at that, I think would be really important. So
I have been working with Officer Lentz, our community police officer, and he was in agreement with me also that we needed a stronger ordinance in order to address this.
Okay. Well, Leah, I assure you that we will definitely look at this. The alders will, and I'm sure a law department definitely will take a look at that.
I sent some sample ordinances along so the human trafficking piece, sometimes what happens is the women get arrested and then they just go back to a different location. So in Iowa, there were 2 cities in Iowa that addressed that human trafficking piece as well.
Right.
And I believe there are other agencies that would work with you, a better ordinance that addresses the problems.
Right. If you have any of that information, please share it with us, and we can incorporate that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I did forward that.
Okay.
I have that already.
Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead, Lindsay. Yeah, go ahead. Somebody else who wanted to talk, Alder LaFave?
Yeah, I know Alder Weary had sent me an email, and he had the Iowa ordinance, and I was wondering, are you there, Chris? Did you send that to any of the others on the committee?
I don't think I saw it.
Okay.
Can't hear you, Alder Weary. We can't hear you.
Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
On the microphone. That was sent by Leah Weicker. Everybody on the committee had it in the office. We have to use that one if it's successful and good. We
You're
breaking up, Chris.
You're breaking up, Chris.
Breaking
but
up.
Sorry about that.
I think what
It
he's
must
saying
be playing
is
on the video
forward
games.
it.
Get off the video games.
No.
All right. I think we got the gist of it. It sounded like you sent it to Leah, and then I wasn't sure I got a copy of that. Maybe I did, but I don't think I saw it.
Actually, Alderman, I sent it to all of you.
Oh, you
There
did.
we go. It came the other way. Yep.
Came from me, correct.
All right. I'll have to
Okay.
look. I'll have to
And I
relook
did
at that.
send it- Lindsay said she got it to Lindsay Mather, also has a copy.
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
All right. Good enough.
Um,
Okay.
Anything else, Leah?
I do have one other business here if you want any feedback from one of the legitimate spas.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Liz Murray. I own Joyful Estates Day Spa, and I'm.
What's your address?
Excuse me?
Your address?
It is 25. It's 425 Military Avenue,
Okay.
and I'm directly across the street from one of the spas that are not legitimate. I'm one number off, and I am constantly confused for them, and I am getting calls that are inappropriate, and they basically don't make me feel safe. To be honest with you, they're very suggestive, and I've had to deal with it. I don't think I should have to do that. I started a business so I could be an entrepreneur, so I could become something better. I'm dealing with people that are, well, not, it's just making me very nervous.
Right.
And I don't think I should deal with that as a business owner, have to deal with kind of trafficking my phone calls. I'm even scared now to take men clients because I'm afraid that they're not legitimate, that they're there for something else.
Well, that's something we'll have to talk with our police department about too as well, but we understand, that's not good, so.
I did want to say just one more thing, Alder Steyer, that this is not an issue for Military Avenue. It is across the city.
No, I agree with you.
Bid director here, and it is our responsibility as a business improvement district to make this a safe place and a good place to do business. And I don't think the illegitimate spas are helping us out at all.
Right. Duly noted. And thank you for your testimony, both of you. Is there anything else? Anybody else want to speak to the matter? Okay, I would.
Mark? I
Yes,
just got
go
one
ahead.
quick question.
Yes.
I was going to ask Leah, was Military Avenue, were they awarded any type of a grant because of the COVID things that are going on in the last, let's say in the last 30 days or so? I just want to get an update on that from you. If there was any type of grant, in other words, that Military Avenue is going to receive.
So we did get the CARES Act. We have not received it. It's a reimbursable grant. And when I read the instructions on how we can spend it, it's incredibly vague and unclear. And to tell you the truth, I really can't even imagine how we could spend it.
Okay, Leah. Alder Vanderleest, I don't know, that's not on the topic right now.
I just wanted to, in other words, I just thought if any of those funds could be used to help in this combat of what's going on there on Military Avenue, I think it would be a good idea to spend it.
Okay, well, we'll take that under advisement.
Thank you.
A possibility. Anybody else? Well, if nobody else wants to speak, I would entertain a motion to close the floor.
Motion to close the floor.
Close the floor.
Motion by Vanderleest, seconded by LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, Alder Wery, you want to just continue? I mean, what's your, what is your desire here?
Chair Steyer, do you want me to chime in a little bit here?
Yes, please do. Thank you, attorney.
Sure. So as you know, you and I had talked about updating this ordinance earlier this year.
Right.
Pardon me. And I had, Leah had reached out to me as well about some of her concerns. The state law has changed since our ordinance was passed. So our ordinance right now basically just says you have to be licensed under state law. So the change that happened in state law allows us to actually cite people for not being licensed under state law, which we weren't allowed to do before until this change in the law happened. So I'm very close to finalizing a draft. I have to get some feedback from some people, but I do anticipate being able to turn this around relatively quickly and get this back to committee.
Well, that would be great. I would like Alder Wery to be involved with that as well, and anybody else that wants to. Appreciate that. Let us know so that we can get it on the agenda when you're ready.
You bet. So if you want to just refer it to staff, or if you want to just hold it, however you want to do it.
I would say probably refer to staff. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good, Mark.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by LaFave, seconded by Vanderleest.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 That passes unanimously. Thanks, Alder for bringing us back up.
Thank you, guys. Good job.
Thanks, Chris.
I'd stick around, but
No,
I'm not.
go play your video games.
That's right.
Oh,
Tired kids.
instead of going to another meeting like you should. No.
All right.
Oh, we have another
Are we
meeting?
ready? Are we ready for next point?
Yes, we are on to item number 3.
Okay, item number 3, consideration with possible action on an appeal by Robert Hageland regarding the reinspection fees at 800 North Platten Street. I know, Paul, you're here, right? So I don't know. And Mr. Hageland's here as well. So we had a chance to take a look at this, and I talked to Mr. Hageland briefly before this. So I just to try to get up to date a little bit as far as what's going on. So I will, and then Mr. Pappy's here as well. I'm trying to figure out how to start with this. I would say, Mr. Hageland, we'll unmute yourself. It's in the corner, lower left-hand corner. Are you there? Turn the speaker up. I can't hear you. Are you on? You're not muted.
Mr. Haglund, you should turn your mic up. So on the lower left, your mic should be on, and there should be something. If you basically hover over the left corner of this black screen, you'll see an icon that looks like a microphone. And you could probably turn your volume up there.
Sometimes if you go to the lower right, there's an arrow that points to the north. If you hit that on the lower right-hand corner, there's a sound speaker button. You can hit that and you can turn it up as well. Well, I guess it's not coming through. You're not coming through. Otherwise, what we could do, I suppose, if you wanted, Celestine, could he call in on his telephone? But he doesn't have a speaker. Any advice would be greatly accepted.
He can also call in and connect via audio via the phone. And he could just leave the meeting and call back in via phone instead of on video.
And we'll be able to hear that, I would hope.
Yes, yeah. So let me just, I don't know if he has the telephone number though.
Oh.
Yeah, give him the number.
So if you just give me a minute, I can, oh, the chat isn't open, darn it. Oh, I can share screen. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, so you can see the telephone numbers, Mr. Haglund, right here. This one, 301. If you just
The
dial that
Chicago?
telephone number. Or the
You do?
Chicago number.
Yeah, I thought we always did the Chicago. I don't know
Yeah,
if
either
that,
one. Either one.
Okay.
They both work.
okay.
So, Mr. Haglund, if you hear me, just shake your head, 'cause so I know that you understood our message. Or nod your head, rather. All right, I'm going to stop share. Okay. Oh, here's Alder Stevens.
Okay. All right, he's back.
And just waiting for Mr. Haglund.
Alder Stevens, if you can hear me, we have one agenda item left. We're on item number 3. That's the last one, and we're trying to start it right now.
All right, thank you.
And here he is. Okay.
How's
Mr.
this?
Haglund,
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So
Oh,
now what you need to do is turn off your speaker. So now you need to
How's
turn
this?
speaker off on your computer.
I just signed out of the Zoom meeting.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
You're in.
all right. That was easy.
Yeah, that was exciting. I'm doing Zooms all week, and now the computer's acting up or whatever.
Yeah. Well, listen, welcome to the meeting. I will make a motion, or I would entertain a motion to open the floor.
Open
So
the
moved.
floor.
Motion by Vanderleest, seconded by LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, Mr. Haglund, you have the floor for a bit. We're going to have inspection speak as well, and the committee will probably ask questions as well. So go ahead. It sounds like there was $900 or $950 in fees over a period of time. And I just want to hear your side of the story. And, you know, if your daughter lives at 800 North Platten, I understand that, and you own the house. But we'll have questions as far as, you know, communication and what happened and things like that. So I want to hear in your own words what your take is on this issue. Go ahead.
All right. On September 16th, my daughter notified me that she had gotten letters from the inspection department saying that I needed to paint the garage or re-roof it. Well, as soon as I got that, I called the inspection department, told them I would go over and work on it, and did that and completed it, and notified them that it was completed. I asked for the fines to be gone or gone, because if I'm not notified and the mail is going to that address, and when I pull up the stuff from the county, which is certification of compliance, it's registered with the county recorder, it's got my home address of 365 Beard Creek Road. If I'm not notified at my house, I can't comply with anything. And as soon as I got the notification of it, I complied with it. Now, I don't go over there a lot because last November I had open heart surgery. I was on all kinds of restrictions for that. And as soon as the restrictions were down enough, I had a double hernia operation, which put me in major restrictions. So I couldn't go anywhere near any place. Now, my daughter and her son work at jobs that are pretty open to the public, for my daughter and her husband. And the kids are out in the neighborhood. I can't take a chance of being around anyone with COVID. So I stay point that if I get mail at the house, I leave it in a garage for a week before I bring it in the house, because I don't want to take any chance. Well, my point is, I didn't get notified. The mail got sent to the house. Why the city would use go to the county, whatever portion of the county they went to is beyond me. If when I was working for the police department, I would go to the water department, because the water department on all rentals has the owner's address. So if the renter doesn't pay the water, they go to the owner. And how I got registered with the county is 800 North Platten is beyond me. I own 2 other properties that all my mail comes here. And as far as knowing that it's registered there, I pay all my city taxes online. I don't know what's going on with that. It's my feeling. I understand that you have to put compliance on there, but you have to know that there is a problem. And once I knew about it, it was taken care of immediately.
Mr. Hagelin, I wanted to ask you, you said you got notification on the 15th of September?
I got notified September 16th by my daughter. She said she had just gotten a couple letters from the city.
Well, I guess the question that I have, and I'm sure inspection can talk about it as well, but there were, August 13th, 14th, 18th, 21st, 24th, 25th, 26th, 28th, 31st, September 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 8th, 10th, 11th, and 14th, which seems like a lot, but those are all before the 15th. So did your daughter get any of these notifications at all in the mail earlier that she would have said something to you?
She would have. She claims the one that she got on the 16th. She got one. I think she told me she got 3 right around that period and notified me right away.
Okay. Well,
so those are the only ones that I knew of, and I still haven't seen them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep this open, but I would like to go to our inspection department right now. Attorney Bungard, is that all right if we can keep this open?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Well, Paul or Bill, either one of you, if you would care to fill us in, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. As Mr. Hagelin spelled out there, the issue really comes down to what he had talked about, the mailing address. I can share the screen and I can show you our inspection screen, and I can show you the Brown County land records, which shows the mailing address, which is where I believe the issue is created.
Mr. Pappy, just give me 1 second to make you a co-host.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect. First one I'm going to show you is going to be our inspection screen. Okay. So here's our inspection screen. Here's the property in question, 800 North Platten. And you can see right here is where the owner information goes to.
Okay, let me ask you real quickly, because Mr. Hagelin lives on Bears Creek Road, and he said he has 2 other properties where the information goes to his home address, not to one of his properties. So yep. I get. Go ahead.
I'm going to show you one more. I'm going to show you one more screen. So.
Okay.
So this one is Brown County land records, and this is what is pulled our Eclipse software pulls it out of. If you look down here where it says billing address, that's where our Eclipse software is getting that information from. So I'm not quite sure why that's happening. And I talked to Mr. Hagelin about that. I'm not quite sure what's happening on the county end or why that's happening, but that's the address that our software uses to send our orders to.
Well, we understand that. I guess, have you had this issue before with owners of properties who live at a different address and have rental properties? Have you had something like this happen in the past? Like this?
Not quite like this. We've had similar situations where they'll say that maybe they're using a PO box or their address is different and then they have to update that, but not quite like Mr. Hagelin is just experiencing.
Well, I can understand some of the confusion, and many times with the city inspection department, we're we understand the work you do, and it's, we appreciate the work that you folks do in this city. And we've, often worked with you pretty well. But I don't know if there's anything, Bill or Paul, you wanted to add to that. I guess, just looking at, all of the violations, or not violations, but inspection fees, there were 18 of them for $950. I think one of them on the 28th of August was for $100. And it just, I don't know, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like if you have an inspection on the 25th and 26th, 3 right in a row, it's kind of like, I don't know, it just seems a little intense to me. It seems like there's too many going on in too short a period of time. So when was the first time that you, on all of these issues? I mean, was there any visitation early on in this matter, or was it later on after all of these inspection fees were relegated to him?
There were multiple inspectors involved in this particular case, Alder Stroyer. There was a staff transition that took place at this point. So there was a couple different inspectors that were involved.
Right. But I guess I just, and maybe as far as your department, when is the first time that you actually had verbal contact with Mr. Hageland on this matter? Is there a date on that, or any idea when you actually contacted him? It sounded like once he got contacted that it was like, okay, sure, I'll comply. I'll do what I can. And he did mention that he had some hardships. I think a lot of folks have different things going on right now. That makes it difficult.
My first phone call conversation with him was when Mr. Hageland noted was in September. I believe it was September 16th. So shortly after that, that's when the fees stopped, as we had a discussion. And after that, it was shortly after that he was able to achieve compliance, and the case was closed.
Right. Well, just my feeling on the matter is that with 18 violations over that period of time, it just seems, to me, it seemed not violations, but inspection fees. It seems fairly exorbitant. And I realize that you said you were going to cut it in half, if you will. I wanted to ask Mr. Hageland, are you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
I just wanted to ask you, Mr. Hageland, when was the first time that you actually had a conversation with the city inspector on this matter?
I think it was the 16th when I got notified by my daughter. I'm pretty sure I called that same day.
Okay.
Because I said I would get it done. Not crazy about going over there with this COVID going on, but I did it. And as far as Brown County Land Records, I have no idea. As far as I know, a realtor files that with them. Mm-hmm. So I would have no idea why they would put that address down as mine when I'm looking at everything else that I have that shows my Baird Creek address.
Yeah, that's something that, like I said, it might be just an unusual circumstance. I would think that it's fairly organized elsewhere that way. Committee, do you have any questions?
I'd like to ask Mr. Hageland, has he upgraded the as far as the address where things are being mailed now? Has he got that under control?
I have not gone down to the county at all, and I work for Brown County. I'm a bailiff for Branch 6, but I have not stepped foot in any of the public buildings lately. I did call the county to try.
I'm talking about doing it on the phone. That you should upgrade your records so you don't run into this problem again. In other words, you're looking for a repeat here.
Yeah, I've got that, and I've called them and left them messages because nobody answers their phone, and I've left them messages to call me so that I can update it. But I have not gotten a response back.
Update it as quick as possible so you don't run into more problems with all your properties. All your properties are, that they're addressed at the proper where they should be, where the mail should go.
Alderman, I agree 100%. And if I could get the county to return my phone calls without me having to go down and bang on their desk, it would be great. But I have left several messages for them to call me so I could get this straightened out.
Well, I know some of the people in the land records office, and I'll make a note of trying to contact them on your behalf.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Alder LaFave.
Thanks, Mark. I was going to just ask Mr. Hagelin again for his correct address. I was going to do it too, but yeah, Mark, if you can do that, that would be great.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Hagelin, give me your address again for the record.
Okay, it's 365 Baird Creek Road, Green Bay 54311.
Okay. Okay, no, I'll definitely look in that, and I have your phone number, and I'll keep in touch that way. But as far as all of this, go ahead, Alder LaFave.
I have some questions too. You know, when I was going through all these dates, I said, my God, some are a day apart, some are 2 days apart, 3 days apart. I have businesses here. I had a business on University Avenue. It took me months to get them to comply to what they were doing with inspection, and then I don't understand this. Sometimes we're not consistent, I think. And I really question these constantly going a couple days and giving another inspection fee. It's just
Actually, that is a good point. I was going to ask either Bill or Paul on that. Like I mentioned, there were August 13th and 14th. Then you had a couple in between. Then you had the 24th, 25th, and 26th. And September was 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 4 in a row. And, if you were just an innocent bystander looking at that, it would just seem like a little bit of overkill. So I hate to call it as such, but, like I said, I'm just looking at the issue at face value and just kind of looking at it, just seems like it's kind of excessive. So I don't know what your take is on that.
So I can answer that. This is Paul. Our standard operating procedure is that we try and work with the owners and get them to communicate with us for the first 15 days. After the first 15 days, then we have the option of going to these re-inspection fees, where we send them notification in the mail as well. And that is up to, it can be daily, but with the expectation that at least it's once a week so that we get some progress on this. In this particular case, it was daily, where we had the ability to go out there daily and get them to get their attention. The reason we've switched to this approach is because we have found it very effective at getting action and getting results from people. They get 3, 4, 5 of these, and then they'll call and go, what's going on? Why am I getting charged? Then they'll respond to our requests.
Oh, I understand the dynamic there, Paul. It just, I guess the thing I'm having a hard time with is that, Mr. Hagelin said that he didn't really talk to anybody until the 15th or 16th of September. That's already a month worth of attempted contacts, and there was no contact. I would think that there would be I don't know.
No, I can speak to that too.
Okay.
I can speak to that too. Our protocol is that we'd send out the orders and the reinspection fees invoices to the address that Bill showed you that comes from Brown County. We have no other means of getting information to them other than using the address that he is responsible to have updated with Brown County. When we get reinspection fees that come back to us because, let's say, they moved and it's no longer a valid address, then we follow up on it and say, hey, the address isn't working, they moved, they sold owners or something. In this case, we had none of that because it went to his daughter at the house and she never forwarded it to him.
Mr. Hagelin, could I ask you that question too?
Sure.
Your daughter's been living there for a while, so it's I can understand where inspection's coming from because they had an address listed 800 North Bladden. That's where they sent the notices. But I'm having a hard time understanding why your daughter didn't contact you earlier with some of these. She was getting mail, obviously.
She claimed that she got 3 in a row, and that's when she called me. She claimed she never had gotten the other ones. I'm not there. I know she works 2 to 3 jobs So when she looks at her mail, I got it. It's beyond me.
Well,
Like I say, I leave mine in the garage for a week, but she claims she had just 3 of them dated, one right behind the other. And when she looked at those and finally opened it up and said, "Hey, we've got this problem," she
right,
called me. And
right.
as far as land records, okay, a realtor files that, I guess. I don't know why it has that address on there, because I have to do a certificate of compliance for rental units with the county that's recorded there, and it has owner's name with my address here and my phone number. And as I tried to explain to the inspection department, if you want to find somebody, an owner of a place, go to within the city, go to the water department. They have that. It's right there.
Okay, thank you for that. Attorney Bungert, are you there?
I am.
I don't know if I'm out of line, but asking you anything on this matter. I mean, you've listened to the testimonies. Should we, the committee has to, figure something out, but I don't know if there's anything else you can add to this that might help the situation. If you can't, that's fine, but I just wanted to ask.
Right. No, I mean, it's the discretion of the committee. Essentially, the proof is on the appellant as to why they feel that the fine should not be assessed. I understand that there seems to be some sort of error or miscommunication with respect to the notices, but it's really up to the discretion of the committee as to whether Mr. Haglund has met his burden of proof to overcome the fees and fines that the inspection department has assessed against him.
Okay, all right, I appreciate that. Any other committee members, do you have anything else to add?
I'm just going to ask you one question, Mark.
Yeah.
Has the inspection department talked to Mr. Haglund about any kind of a reduction at this point?
They have, and if inspectors would fill us in, I'd appreciate it. As far as what you had talked about doing, wasn't there talk about reducing things?
Do you want me to address it, Paul, or do you want to?
Yeah, well, either one.
That's fine, Bill. Yep.
Okay. I had a conversation after talking to our chief building official. I called Mr. Haglund back and we had offered to reduce it by $500. So right now there was, I believe, $950 in reinspection fees, and we offered to reduce that by $500 to $450.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard. Alder Vanderleest, what's your feeling on that?
I would say if Mr. Haglund is comfortable with it, I would say that the inspection department is reaching out in very good faith, and I hope that he can get all his addresses squared away as far as, when things are sent, that he gets them to his address properly, so there's no more, hiccups that seem to be falling into the system. So I would say if he's comfortable with the 450, I would say let's do it.
I don't think he is, but Mr. Haglund, what's your take?
I'm not comfortable with having to pay any fines, because when I found out about it, I complied immediately. And I understand, and I just heard the testimony that the fines are there to get you to comply with it. And I complied with it as soon as I found out about it. So why would I have a fine if I find out? I comply with it immediately.
They're actually
and then went above and beyond.
Yeah. It's not so much a fine, it's an inspection fee, but in a sense you're paying, yes. Any other committee members want to weigh in on this before we close the floor?
I really don't know how to respond to this. Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, I think we should discuss this amongst ourselves. So, Mr. Hay, appreciate your testimony.
Motion to close.
I appreciate you allowing me to attend the meeting and state my problems.
Okay, thank you. Alder
right, thank you.
Stevens? Okay, thank you. Close the floor by Alder Stevens. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alder Vanderleest. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed. All right, committee. Kind of spelled out, it sounds like inspection has taken the 950 and knocked it down to 450. Mr. Hagelin doesn't feel he should pay any of it because he was notified by the time he actually physically or talked to them, it was toward the middle of September, and we already had 18 different violations written up. So this is kind of an unusual one. I haven't seen one quite like this in all my years on council. So I don't know. I'm looking to the committee to kind of guide me a little bit on this as well. Paula Stevens, do you have any ideas on this? What's your
When was the first notice issued?
First one was on August 13th. And then there was a series of them all the way up till the 15th of September. There were 18 of them. So Mr. Hagelin said he didn't talk to inspection.
I don't see these letters.
Well, it's in the agenda.
I don't see it in the agenda.
You have to kind of, Attorney Bunger, do you have a copy of that? Can you share the screen?
Who needs to share the screen?
Could you share the screen on a list of those violations?
Bill Pappy is still the co-host.
Okay.
So Bill, Mr. Pappy, you can
For
go ahead
Alder
and do that if
Stevens,
you
you
like.
said you wanted to see those, right?
Yeah, when was the first one that we issued?
It was August 13th, as far as my recollection.
Yeah.
So it was basically August 13th, 14th, 18th, 21st, 24th, 25th, 26th, 28th, and 31st. And then September 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
No, I'm
8th.
meaning the compliance violation, that
Oh, the
first letter
compliance
that's
violation?
issued.
Okay, I'll leave that.
I would assume that was the middle of July.
I'm not sure.
I'm looking it up right now, guys.
The reason why I
Okay.
ask is I can't find this information on
June
our end. So I looked
28th.
up parcel data and it says completed by 7/29/2020. So I'm assuming the first letter was issued in July.
June 28th.
Oh,
June
June 28th.
28th. So he would have got a letter to that effect. 800 North Platte would have got a letter on that, right around that date, correct?
Correct, yes.
Correct.
The other thing, while we're looking that up, I just wanted, if Bill can pull up a picture of the garage, that way you guys can see the issue as well. So as a landlord, even though it was his daughter, there's still accountability on the landlord to make sure that the building is being maintained and kept up. And when you see the picture, that'll help
Right.
set up frame of reference. The
You know,
shingles were bad and peeling.
just one point, because well, when we're done, I'll make my comment regarding
Okay.
the information that we're seeing.
So Bill, you're gonna bring that up?
Yep, I'm working on it right now. My computer's a little slow, but we're working on it right now.
We're all getting to be experts in our own way.
All right, I'm gonna share the first one I'm gonna share is a photo of the garage.
I did drive by the garage recently and it looked pretty good from just my first reaction. Okay,
This
go
photo,
ahead.
this photo was taken in August.
Okay. So it looks like the roof was in bad shape and needed painting.
Yep, and then some peeling paint.
Okay. So
I'll
that
share
letter-
another one for
Yeah, go
Alder, to answer Alder Stevens' question. I'm gonna pull up our folder that shows the orders. All right, can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the date right here is when it was sent out, when the letter was drafted, and you can see, as we discussed, that address that we pull comes to 800 North Platte, that comes right out of Eclipse, right out of Brown County Land Records.
Sure.
So that's where it was sent. And then once no response, that's where the invoices are sent, because that's all we have. That's all we can go by, is based off of where is the last known contact information of the property owner.
So, and if you look that up in the land records too, they'll show Mr. Hagelin's name there, correct?
That's what I showed you before, and it has, the Brown County has not updated it. It's still listed at 800 North Platten.
But you understand his point, which I thought was a good
Absolutely.
point, as far
Absolutely.
as other, I'm looking at the big picture as far as other city properties where something is sent to a house and the renter might be getting it rather than the owner itself. And I don't know, I think that's beyond your scope. That's really not your job to do that. But
I feel like the city did do what they're supposed to do using the address that is currently on file. It's
Right.
not the city's responsibility to make sure that it's correct.
The other thing
Well,
I could add to that, there's over 4,000 complaints that we do a year. And this is like the first one where it's a hiccup with Brown County rather than filling out a form and get it properly registered with the county.
Right. Well, I understand you folks are doing your job. Alder Stevens, you still have the floor. Go ahead.
Sure. Okay, well, no, I'll hold off. Anybody else have any comments?
Yeah.
Chairman?
Yes, go ahead. Hold on.
I would make a suggestion, because it could happen again, you don't know, that when they are going out and inspecting these properties and not getting any response, that they then go look at the water department billing and see where, to double check on the address.
Paul, it looks like you want to comment.
Oh, I do.
I don't know where, thank you, but I don't know where we would draw the line. With 4,000 comments or 4,000 complaints a year, and this letter went out and we didn't get anything back, but you know how many times that happens with complaints where people don't respond to us? That means out of the 4,000, 3,000, we're going to check with the water department all the time to see if the address is correct or not. It puts a bad onus on the city to have to manage a property for someone else. And the system works. We're linked in with Brown County. It updates every night, back and forth between the two entities. I think we're reducing stuff that we don't have to do because of this one instance.
Right. Well, I can see the issue on both sides of the fence on this one, literally. And like I said, I appreciate all the work that inspection does on a lot of these, but this is just seems like an unusual circumstance. So I would even entertain the thought, and committee, you can talk about this if you like. Originally it was $950. They knocked off 500 to make it 450. Considering that there should be culpability on, on the owner's side, regardless of certain things. But I would take that 450 and divide it in half and make it 225. If you want to talk about that, we can. Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion from one of the other committee members.
My comment would be, or go ahead, Paul.
The only thing I can speak to that is it can't be 225. It'd have to be $200. We can't,
Okay.
The way the billing system's set up, long story short, has to be $200.
All right.
Or 250. Or
250.
Correct, or 250. Yep, it has to stay in the $50 increments.
Well, then I would say 250. That's my take. So committee, I don't know if you feel how you feel about that.
Yeah, I have a comment.
Go ahead.
So that first letter that was issued was on the 28th of June. My understanding, it took them 2.5 months to respond to the city on September 16th.
That's what it sounds like.
So the tenant is actually the daughter. So there may be some type of misconnect. I feel for them, but I think we should stay at $450.
Okay, Alder Vanderleest.
I would say doing all of the disconnect here as far as the county and the city site. I would say in this case, it sounds like the 250 would probably be a good a good scenario as far as, you know, goodwill on the city, and the landlord has some responsibility as well. So I would go along with the 250 at this point. Just because it just sounds like he did get the property into compliance. I understand that. It sounds like there was a bunch of hiccups in between. So I would say let's give him the 250 fee.
Was that a motion?
That would be a motion.
Okay, Alder LaFave, did you have a comment or did you want a second?
I guess I'll second it. I wish we could make it 0, but yeah.
No.
It's,
Well, I think,
it's not the city's fault. It's the county's fault, actually. Maybe he
Yeah.
should submit the
Yeah,
bill to the county.
Paul, do you have a comment?
Guys, I do. It's not the county's fault. It's the landlord's, the owner's fault. This doesn't happen on other parcels. So we can't put the onus on, we can't shuffle it down the path and blame someone else. It falls on the owner. I'm more than happy with 250. Let's get it, leave this meeting and call the county, get it squared away. But I'm not going to accept that it's our fault or the county's fault. It's not, period.
okay. I think we stated that.
Actually, he did say that nothing else, everything else comes to his address, not this address. This is the only instance, and it came from the county. So there is
Well,
something maybe wasn't updated there, or something happened, something went
Alder
through.
LaFave.
But yeah, so we got to. I will second that.
The
Okay.
city's not at fault.
Well, that's fine. We appreciate your comments. All right, we have a motion and we have a second. All in favor of reducing the 250, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Alder Stevens?
Aye.
Oh, you said aye. Okay. All right. Okay, that passes unanimously. Mr. Hagelin, we reduced it down to 250. So, you know, we tried to look at this as fairly as we could on both sides of the matter, and I will call you or contact you as far as the county, what their deal is with their land records. I know those folks over there, and I'll stay in touch with you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I got that, and I have a little problem with the county being so confused since I'm also an employee of them.
Well, we'll talk about that at break time or something. Anyway, all right, thank you for that.
All right, thank you.
All right, Attorney Bunger, we voted, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we are all set. We are on to the liquor violation report.
Oh, man, that's so happy to hear that. Okay, Bennett Mahoney, please continue with your informational moment.
Okay, the good news is we have no violations during this time, so we won't be here late.
Ooh.
I want to do like Randy Scannell. We'll do one of those.
Motion to file.
By Vanderleest,
Second.
seconded by LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All
Aye.
opposed? All right, well, we have a meeting on Thursday, correct? Attorney Bunger?
Yes, at 5:30.
Okay. Can everybody make it?
I'll make her.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
I might have an
Yep.
issue.
Well,
No,
Where
I'm
are you
only
gonna
kidding.
you're gonna be on vacation? What?
No, I'll be here.
Okay, all right. All right,
Not
thank you all.
vacation,
Let's
guys.
I
make
know the
a
last 2 times I've been, on
motion. We
vacation.
gotta have a
and then-
motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn, correct?
Second.
Okay, I made a motion. Second, by Vanderleest.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
I did. Can I do that?
Yes.
I seconded it.
All right, second by
Yes.
Vanderleest. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, our next meeting is November 19th, and then that's our, on the fluoride issue, and then our next P&P meeting is December 7th after that.
December 7th.
So we'll
December
see
7th.
you, we'll see you Thursday. Hopefully we can do well and roll through as best we can. I'm fired up, believe me.
Thanks, Mark. Good job.
All right, thanks you guys.
you.
Take care. All right, bye-bye.
Take care. Have a good